What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Preppers Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another Friday stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I came up with. This time it wasn't a last-minute topic. I actually prepared a little bit, but it's a completely irrelevant and unimportant stream to prepare for because I'm just going to be playing with my own configuration. But that's the way it's going to be today, so I hope you enjoy. Let me see who's here so far. I saw a lot of activity over in the IRC. God, I'm getting real confused. I got too many screens and the mouse does not go to the screen I expect it to. Give me 1 second. All right, hello to Jeff, Purple G, Big Edie, Cal, Peter, Glenn. Who else is here? Nakotani. Nakotani says, I'm working and listening, but here in spirit. Well, it sounds like you're here. If you're listening to it, you're also here. So it's not really spirit so much as, you know, your ears are engaged. Your eyeballs may not be engaged, which is fine because, I mean, what is there to see really except for the same screen that you've been seeing for the last 5 years? But you're here. It's good. It's fine. Hello to Christian and Mike and Ed and Ashraz, of course, over on the YouTube side. Thank you all for being here today. Appreciate it. Let me close this other window down because that's going to be causing problems. All right. Let's see. Big Edie says, get a real window manager like EXWM. Don't worry about no mouse. Well, the thing is, like, sometimes you got to use a mouse, especially whenever you change workspaces with your key bindings and the focus doesn't go where you think it's supposed to. So instinctively, you will grab the mouse and try to put it where you want it. But then you realize that it's on a different computer. So Purple G says, what is a system crafter stream without seeing David's beautiful face? I think we're going a little too far, okay? A little too far on that one. I know you're being facetious, though, and I appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Nagatani says, okay, I am ear engaged. I read that as ear enraged first, and I was about to be a little bit concerned for what you're hearing. Mouses are OP? I don't know, man. Like, I haven't actually had a real mouse on my desk. I want to say since 2019 or 2018, maybe. I mean, occasionally I will use one if I have to, but I haven't had one, except for the track point, obviously. I mean, technically that counts as a pointing device. It counts as a mouse, but it's not really a mouse, you know? It's not the same. I'm just saying that to make myself feel better, because obviously it would be nice if I could only use the keyboard for everything, but. And I don't think that Big Edie is using the keyboard for everything either. I'm sure he uses a mouse for something. Mice are pretty much required for browsing the web. Yeah, more or less. I mean, if you use a browser like Qt Browser or Vimby or any of the extensions for Firefox or Chrome that make it more Vim-like, then you can get away with not using it. Ew, Qt Browser. What's wrong with Qt Browser? It's pretty good. It's probably the best keyboard-driven Chromium wrapper that exists, I think. No. What? What are we talking about? Hello to Dominic. No what? Nix doesn't need mouse for browse. Yet Nix doesn't need a mouse for browsing. That's true. But every time I try to use Nix, it doesn't work. I mean, maybe now that they Emacs web browser. Okay. Maybe now that they have switched to using an Electron setup, it might be better. I'm talking about Nix specifically. I don't know though. I'm skeptical. But not because I don't have faith in the Nix team. It's just that the last few times I've tried it have not really gone so well. It's a great idea. I love it. I love the goal, but it hasn't gone so well. Dave says I still haven't switched to Nix. Yeah, I would love to use Nix. I mean, it obviously it's a Lisp configured and extended web browser and it's keyboard controlled, and it basically seems like Emacs, but yeah, if it doesn't really work so smoothly, then it says, I'm pretty much the poster boy client for the software. Yeah, well, maybe you should just jump in there and help them out, man. I mean, with all of your, XX years of experience as a software engineer, I'm not gonna, date you or anything. What I mean is, I'm not gonna carbon date you. I don't mean like, romantically date you. I'm getting off track here. With all of your years of experience, you should be able to help them, right? Don't you think? Maybe we should nerd snipe Trev into doing it. Speaking of which, where's Trev? Somebody needs to ping Trev. Also, where's Case? What's going on? Big Edie says, if Nix had web extensions, I would be all over that. Do those help? You mean like Chrome-style web extensions where you can get like... Too far, says Purple G. Come on now. We got to get the Friday stream started off with a little bit of extraneous banter, right? I think it qualifies. So, what was I saying? Yeah, for uBlock. Well, you pretty much only need it for uBlock, right? Isn't there like a way to get uBlock style block lists and put them into a browser? Because I think the people were using some kind of block lists for Qt browser in lieu of using ad block extensions. It's possible. So let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else interesting happening. Oh yeah, family member in a hospital for a few days. My daughter got sick and kind of like it went a little bit too far over in the respiratory side, but I'm glad to report that she's doing much better now and not in the hospital anymore. So that was fun. If you were watching the Monday Crafter Hours stream, I had to cut it short because we got a call from the school that she had high fever and some other stuff going on. So we went to pick her up and then had to basically go to the hospital the same day. But it all turned out fine. So, and there wasn't a stream on Wednesday either. But the next week we'll be back to the normal schedule, I believe. She's doing good now. Thank you very much. All right, so news. First of all, Jeff has posted an update about Crafted Emacs because apparently Emacs 30 came out, which I mentioned a few weeks ago. Emacs 30 is now officially stable released. And as a result, people who upgraded the Emacs 30 had seen some issues with Crafted Emacs, or at least one particular issue, I believe. So Bowman's error. I really did a good job typing that. Here we go. Bowman's arrow. Jeff. What's your blog? Okay, right as Jeff Bowman. Good Lord. Everything I'm trying to search with is not showing up. Crafted Emacs. There we go. Good God. All right. Here we go. All right. Crafted Emacs update March 2025. Emacs 30.1 released and stuff broke. So if you want to hear more about what's been going on in Crafted Emacs land, which isn't a whole lot because, this project's been pretty stable for a while. I guess it really hasn't been much to do because the initial goals of the project have been met. So if you haven't tried out Crafted Emacs so far, it's another one of the, the wide selection of Emacs starter kits, but the goal of Crafted Emacs is to give you a starting point that doesn't require you to replace your entire configuration. You kind of can start taking in all the stuff that it provides and then gradually, phasing it out as you start writing your own configuration. So it's much better for crafting your own Emacs config, but also still getting the benefit of having a pre-crafted configuration to use for a lot of the things that you would normally want to see in the Emacs config. So thank you to Jeff for writing up this post and also for handling the issues here. I also think that Judy had stepped in to respond to an issue about TreeSit Auto. I think I saw Yabo's name in here as well. Yeah, raise a bug about it, provide a PR to solve the problem. So the team is on the case. Glad to see the Crafted Emacs is still moving. I obviously have not mentioned it in a while, and I'm sorry to the people who work on it that haven't mentioned it in a while, but that's the problem with having stable software is that when there's no new releases, there's nothing to talk about, which is not a bad thing. So let's see. Next is, I think there was a forum post, because I saw an email notification about it. I have not read it yet, by Talos, about my adventures in Guix. There's actually 2 of them, it seems. So he's writing up his description of his experience getting a Guix system set up, which is great. Talos, I don't know if you have a blog, but you should probably put this on your own website as well, because, you know, it's a good way to get some traffic and some credibility on the internets. But let's see. Let me just throw the links to those inside the show notes, because I haven't put these together yet. All right, let's see. Whoops. That's last week's notes. And we're going to drop the next one in right there. Okay. So I think he's talking about what channels he pulled in. Also to use tail scale, which is cool. I have not tried that in Guix yet. Things for my home server, make available website in Codeberg. Docker to use Jellyfin. I need to get Jellyfin working again. The last time I tried to use Jellyfin in my Guix configuration, somehow Jellyfin stopped connecting to it, and I don't exactly know why it happened. So, all right, so let's see. Close those 2 out. And let's see, what else is going on? Anybody have any notable news in the Emacs Guix spaces? I'm trying to think if there's anything that helped. Anything that happened this week. So I saw Old Yella and hello, and somehow my brain morphed that word into something else. Let's see. And hello to Old Yella. Nice to see you. Hello to Einar. All right. So next, I'm going to mention I have a new Guix course in development. I'm working on a more or less a beginner's Guix course to take you through the concepts of Guix, fundamentals of Guix, to understand sort of how the system is put together, as well as doing a full system installation and then setting the system up, including system configuration and home configuration, as sort of like an end-to-end process. So basically getting your first full Guix system set up and configured. Not going super, super deep into configuration yet, because then the course would be like 20 hours, but we're just going to be breaking them up into pieces. This is going to be the first one. We're going to be doing it as a beginner's course. So if you are interested in seeing that course in development while I'm working on it, if you are a member of the System Crafters Guild at the $15 a month or higher tiers, then you will be added to a group where I'm discussing the early access to the course material and sort of the general planning of it with the people who are there. Thank you, Glenn, for replying back to that this past week. I put up the sort of speculative table of contents, or outline, I guess, and discuss some of the ideas that I have for it there. So I'm definitely looking for feedback from the folks who are in the guild and want to provide some feedback on what I'm planning to do. Mike asked in the chat, how do you know if you're still in the guild? Well, I think if you go to the System Crafters store, there's like a members section there, which is kind of stupid. I don't really like the fact that there is a members section. And it makes me consider like not using this site to power that, because it's confusing to have an account here and an account on the forum. But if you sign up as a guild member, I think you end up creating an account on this site, which is not the real account that we will use for the guild. You will use your forum account for that. So sorry for the confusion on that. Also, if you go to the forum, you should see that you're in one of the groups. It will have like a flare on your username. So if I were to go to forum /u/dmirth, which is Mike's account, it says guild member. So Mike is a guild member. That's how you know. So if you want to become a member of the guild, go to systemcrafters.store, scroll down to the second section here and to the join the guild section, and you'll have some more information about that. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff for guild members coming up this year. I'm gradually working towards building some stuff out for that. This sort of rewrite that I'm doing of the System Crafters website to have a Guile backend is part of that, so that I can automate some of the things that I want to put together. So it will only get better from here, especially with the the feedback of the people who join to tell me like what it is that you would like to see if you are a member of the guild. All right. Your favorite water bottle? Which one? This one? You know, that thing, I tell you what, it's a very nice looking water bottle, but it destroys my mouth when I use it. I don't know if this is the way that my mouth works, but the little baby pacifier, whatever, I don't want to use the other word I'm thinking of. It's just not really effective for me, but it is high quality and it's very nice looking. But you have 3. I'm sure they're not all System Crafters ones, but yes. They are good. Also, this hat right here on the left is pretty cool. I've been wearing it a lot lately, and I like it. Okay, so today, what I wanted to do is work on some improvements to my Dotfiles, because there's a few things that I've been running into, and I need to sort of mentally recall all of them, and that's part of the process of this stream. Is I'm gonna think through like what all the things I want to improve on my Dotfiles, think through what all of them are, and then we're gonna try to progressively fix them all if we can, and try to make my general configuration better. Now you're probably thinking, why would I want to watch you go work on your configuration? I don't know. Maybe you'll learn about something new that you hadn't seen before. Maybe you will provide me with some interesting insights that I don't know about. So I think it's a good idea for us to kind of just, you know, hack through this a little bit and see what happens. Zororg says, are you still using Emacs in terminal only? No, I'm not anymore, because I had a number of issues with it. I could have kept using it. But there were a couple things that didn't work so well for me. In October, I don't know if it was October, if it was more recently. I can't exactly remember when that was. But I did have a stream where I talked about that, and I gave the reasons why. I don't really remember them now. The one thing I do remember is that Control-G was very dangerous, because if the system is under load and I kept pressing Control-G, it would exit Emacs. And I don't really want that, because I kind of need to be in Emacs to give the presentation that I'm giving. So yeah, I am not in console Emacs anymore. I guess I should sort of give an update on the state of the world here. So if I go back to my .files folder and then the emacs.org file, I kind of gave my explanation about why I rewrote my configuration. And I don't remember exactly when this was that I did the rewrite, but last year sometime I went and rewrote my configuration, got rid of pretty much everything that I was using before. I started using as many built-in features of Emacs as I could, getting rid of many commonly used community packages like Vertigo, Consult, Embark, Marginalia, pretty much everything related to the Vimco stack, as people tend to call it, and other things as well. I'm just trying to get rid of as much stuff that's not in the box as possible. And I would say that's largely been a success. I am quite happy with the result of having done that. But there are a couple of lingering issues that tend to bite me when I'm using my system. One of them being completions. I get bitten by selecting the wrong completion because I'm typing too fast, going through things, and it picks the one that I don't expect to pick. So I need to remember what the actual scenario is for that so I can replicate it and then try to fix it. But that's one thing. There's a few other things I'll mention as well. But generally speaking, I have not had to delve back into many of the standard community packages. There's a couple that I've had to use for specific purposes, and I'll talk about a couple of those today. But for the most part, it's been fine. And I highly recommend that if you want to use Emacs for the long term, it is worthwhile to try using Emacs without a bunch of community packages for a while. Number one, so you learn Emacs itself better. And number two, so that you can actually appreciate the value of community packages, because some of them do actually bring a lot of value to the table. Now, Emacs gradually has been improving to the extent that some community packages that you might be using may not be necessary, because the built-in completion systems and UIs and whatnot in Emacs have improved quite a lot over the last few releases. And then you've got things like eglot built in and things like tree sitter built in. So there's a lot of stuff that's kind of built in now that gives you a lot of ability to just depend on what is in the box. Like even themes, you got the Modus themes built in. What you're looking at right now is not Doom Pale Knight. I don't use Doom themes anymore. This is actually the Modus themes customized with Doom Pale Knight colors. We actually did that mostly on a stream, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. So you can do a lot with the stuff that's built in now if you're willing to go and write some Emacs Lisp yourself. So I don't know, like, I think it's a worthwhile exercise. I don't really have any complaints other than the ones that I'm going to try to fix today. So that's what we're going to focus on. All right. Let's see what's been going on in the chat here. Zorg says, because font looks the same size everywhere. Yes, I did not go back to using variable width fonts yet, and I may not. I also have not, well, yeah, I haven't set different font face sizes either. But that's something that can easily be done in Box. Obviously, using variable width, variable pitch fonts is something that can be done in Box as well. It's not that I'm kind of like trying to avoid that, but I'm still trying to avoid things I don't really need until I decide that I need them. But at some point, I might use variable pitch fonts again because they just do look better in certain cases. So, you know, it's possible. Hey, Trev. Where were you, Trev? I was asking about you earlier. I'm trying to nerd snipe you into going and fixing the Nix project. You wanted a reason to write common Lisp. Well, there you go. Just go fix Nix. Fix Nix. Fix it. Trev says, Emacs 3031 adds some new window management features that you may like. Can you tell me what they are, at least for Emacs 30? Do you remember? Because I would like to remember. Peter says, I was looking for Emacs 30 in Guix, but it was still on 29.4. Let's see. Fixed. That's right, Purple G. We're going to fork Nix and call it fixed, and we're going to fix it. I'm just kidding. Emacs. Plain old Emacs. Still Emacs 29. Who knows why? Who knows why? Let's see. Nix. What's that have to do with the CL? Nixed. Nixed. Right? It's different. It's not the same. Nixed. Ashra says about window management. Control H N C S. Whoa. All right, that's one hell of a key binding. Control H N. Control. Whoa. Control S. Delete it, please. All right, star, Windows. See, that's one thing that sucks about iSearch. It's so painfully slow, okay? Is there any way to make iSearch use like ripgrep as a backend? Because this is really bad. Windows return, thank you. Toggle window dedicated. Interactively mark a specific window as dedicated so it won't be reused by a display buffer. Can be useful for complicated Windows setups. That's actually kind of interesting. D in the mode line now indicates that the window is dedicated. So if I do something like, let's say, split the window and put the scratch buffer there. Whoop. God, this is so slow. Why is it so slow? I'm not even running the stream on this machine. Control, what is it? Control XWD. Control XWD. Window is now dedicated to buffer scratch. So can I change? I can change it, but I guess, excuse me, display buffer is not going to put something else there. So Control HF, find file. Cool. So it opened a different one. That might be my window pop-up stuff, though. Okay. Might be mine. Anyway, Purple G says the news buffer is slow. No, like Emacs in general gets stupidly slow for me. And I think it might have to do with how I'm sharing my screen to the other laptop to stream it. But I'm not 100% certain about that. It usually seems that when I'm doing like screen capture on the laptop that it, for whatever reason, just gets slow. It's probably a Wayland thing. Probably. I'll just blame Wayland because I don't really know what the answer is. Okay. New action alias entry category for display buffer. That's cool. Action alias entry for some window. Post command select window. Window restore killed buffer windows. So there's a few new options here. Okay, I'll briefly explain this. Big Edie says, I'm really interested in your streaming setup. Why do you use two computers to stream, and how exactly does that work? I can't really show you because it would destroy everything, but when you use one computer to stream, you're having OBS running or some other software to use for streaming, but usually it's OBS. You're having OBS running, which uses quite a lot of CPU. I didn't find it. Ashraz found it, which is usually what happens. Ashraz just, magically comes with an answer, and then I get to benefit from it. So thank you, Ashraz. I'm not thinking the left pad. I'm thinking Ashraz, all right? So, rolling back. Yes. If you have OBS running on the same computer as the stuff that you're demonstrating, then the CPU usage becomes a problem because you have something that's taking like 30 to 40% of your CPU that is, showing your screen to the internet, and then you have everything else. So if anything bad happens in your computer, or if it gets hosed, it can take the stream down, or the stream could just be really choppy, whatever. So having a second computer is nice because you can run OBS on the second computer, and then as long as you can kind of cast your screen into that computer, you can share it, and then have things be kind of load balanced, let's say, across two computers. However, it doesn't really help if the computer you're using for the presentation gets so slow because of the screencasting that it just gets bogged down. It's almost worse in a way. Now, I could use an HDMI capture device to put the screen inside of the other laptop, but if I did that, then it would look kind of grainy because of the capture card kind of fuzziness. I don't know. I just don't like it that much. I might try it again, though, because I don't like the whole slowness either. So anyway, hey, Dave, nice to see you. Maybe one day I'll do a more like in-depth video about what I do for my streaming setup, but that's kind of the gist of it. I have two computers, OBS, and all of my sort of Emacs list automation for the stream and Guile scheme automation for the stream. All the stuff that you see in the window frame up here, like the stream title and the little pop-ups over there and the chat. By the way, I fixed the chat. You notice that? It's not getting cut off anymore, so yay me. All of that's coming from Guile scheme and HTML and JavaScript. Anywho. Einar says, Jansen is no longer needed because there's a built-in faster parser now. Yeah, that is true. I haven't really noticed that it's gotten better, but I haven't really been using eglot that much either. So like the last time I've been writing a little bit of JavaScript here and there, but not anywhere near as much as I did the last few years. And I was using eglot all the time for that. So I can't really tell if it's faster. Hey, Arno. All right. Oh, left pad's here. Great. Now we're going to have some trouble. Custom Blink says, just download more CPU. Well, I kind of did that because I bought a new laptop and it has a lot more CPU and it has 98 gigabytes of RAM. So it helps, but it doesn't help the other computer that's struggling whenever I'm scrolling. Yes, okay. If you just type the same letter, if you type, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious on one line, it's not going to wrap correctly, because how would it? If you type 100 Ks, it's not going to show up right. If you want to tell me the CSS to make that work, sure, I'll do it, but that's okay. I don't care about that. I just care about your normal person speech word wrapping, okay? I'm not worried about your, what do you call it? Chaos monkey style fuzz testing. Speaking of which, where's Summer? Because she usually does the chaos monkey style fuzz testing. Okay, so maybe you need to type it twice, Purple G, because apparently that's not long enough. All right. Can you configure to show ellipses at the end of the line? Probably, yeah. I think there is a way to do that in CSS. All right, Summer is MIA. Yeah, I haven't seen her in the IRC recently. She was coming every day for a while, but she must be on another one of her secret CIA missions. I'm just saying that. I don't really think she's in the CIA, but, even if she was, she wouldn't be able to tell us that. So how can we really know for sure? Okay, let's get back to it. So the point of all this was that I rewrote my configuration, got rid of a bunch of community packages. I'm using more built-in stuff now, but I need to fix some of the stuff that I have configured so that it is a bit smoother. Let me just write those down actually. So here in the list, I'm gonna say fix completion styles to not annoy me. That's one thing, okay? Because it is annoying me quite a lot. Number 2, ANSI term is kind of terrible. Use eat. So, ANSI term is good. I'm very happy that ANSI term exists because it gives you a reasonably capable terminal emulator inside of Emacs. However, the key binding situation with it is just a little bit funky, and I always get stuck in ANSI term trying to use normal Emacs key bindings. It is possible to press Control-C, Control-J to go into a mode where you can use Emacs key bindings, but sometimes you don't want to have to do that. So there's probably a way, I'm sorry, my voice is cracking like a 13-year-old. There's probably a way to fix that, but there's other reasons why I might want to use something like eat instead. It's faster, it's a bit more Emacs friendly in certain ways. And also it can be used in eShell to improve the eShell experience. So I think I might use eat just because it's a better experience. It won't be part of my base configuration. As I explained when I redid everything, Zorg says it's the same with eat. You have to toggle to go into Emacs mode. I don't think it's quite as bad though, but maybe I'm wrong. My main init.el file should not have anything in it that requires an external package. So that's one rule I'm keeping with my config is init.el should configure Emacs well enough that it can be used if I just drop that file on a system somewhere to give me some level of creature comforts, but it shouldn't require any external packages. I think I got to that point. I don't remember. We'll go look at it maybe. So I won't put eat in my init.el. I will put it in an extension module that I use on my actual installed machines. All right. Yes. Old Yellow asks, are these notes online? Well, if you check out the description. Now, the link in the description, did I fix the link in the description? It may be the wrong date. Usually in the streams, there's a link in the description that will take you to the website for that. This one's not checked in yet. It will be checked in after the stream because, as you saw, I basically created this file as we were here. So Ed says, isn't it easier to make a normal terminal emulator shell more Emacs friendly than make Emacs work as a terminal emulator? Well, yes, but one of the big benefits of Emacs as a text-driven interface is that you have all of your normal Emacs bindings available to you, and I'm very often using Emacs, kill and yank, and cursor movement and everything else inside of terminal buffers because it makes it easier to just sort of get around. So certainly I could use Foot or some other terminal emulator outside of Emacs to do the stuff that I need to do, but I think it doesn't work for me because I have a very Emacs-centric workflow. All right. Zork says, do you guys manage sessions in Emacs? I use activities by EL by Alpha Papa. I probably should, but I don't. I just set up stuff every time I start Emacs. So I'll tell you, man, I'm really not getting into the point, am I? Yeah, Ashra says, I don't have the need for sessions, to be honest, ever. So I'll tell you how I use Emacs. And I mean, I guess I don't really have to tell you because you see it. most of what I'm doing in Emacs is jumping around between Git repositories. And as Ashra says, Control X PP, and then getting into like the sort of prompt for a project is often way faster than doing anything else. Like I don't even want to navigate to the folder of a project. Look at this. So I'm in Emacs here. Let me turn on Keycast tab bar mode. Control X PP, emacsPackages.com, enter, find file, packages.scm. That didn't take very long. I don't really need a session to go work on a project whenever I can so easily just jump into the folder of a project, open a specific file, and then start working on it. Then with the other project-related commands like Control X PE, open an E shell. Now, I think I broke something and now E shell's not getting loaded up, but if you treat a lot of things that you do as like projects, if you have Git repositories for them, then you can use project.el to get into those things. And it obviates the need for managing like a window configuration. Like I've got my project set up, I've got my DIRED on one side, I've got my code editor on another, and my terminal at the bottom. You don't really need that so much. I just feel like if you are comfortable enough with Emacs, you probably don't need it. Now, if you're a person that's got like 15 screens and you want to like open your computer and have your Emacs just jump to all the right screens with all the stuff on it that you want to see, maybe that makes sense. I mean, there's something to be said for automating your Emacs startup to like create a couple frames and like put the stuff in those frames that you want. I may still do some of that for myself, but still, I don't know. I don't really need it too much. And I can't easily check in these types of activities, these saved sessions into source control to reuse them across machines. So I would much rather automate using Emacs Lisp the setup of a particular type of view from scratch so that it's repeatable on all machines in the way that I need it to be. That's just me. I don't know. I am certainly happy to hear other perspectives on that because, I don't consider myself to be the foremost authority on how to use Emacs. I just know the way that I use it. Mike says, no external packages. Isn't that pretty Amish of you? Yes, I'm trying to be, more pure and, live off the land, as they say, and build my own barn. Because that's basically what I did in this emacs.org file. Is I built my own barn, and now I'm living in it with the cows. Because you see, we have at least 2 cows in the IRC. Remember 2cows.com? Sorry. Those of you who used the internet in the 90s just had a little bell go off in your head. Sorry for that. Travis says, project.el is good for me since I switch context often and begin by grepping across an entire project. I do that too. Let's see. What is Oslo saying? What is the point? Oh, yeah. What are we doing on the stream? David's slowly turning into prot. No, I'm not turning into prot. I can't do what prot does, okay? And that's okay. I don't have to be prot. I can just be me. It's fine, right? But I'm not a fisherman. And because summer hasn't been around, nobody's been propagating that myth. Oh, where's alternate then? No goat. Emacs is the goat. All right, so let me get back to reality here. What was I saying? Let me pull up my little paper notebook here. Each shell, let's see, where are we? Good God. I'm incredibly confused about which screen I'm on right now and which workspace I'm on. All right, yeah, so use eat, fix xterm colors. That is kind of broken right now. Paper notebook, Zorg says, yeah, look, I've got a notebook. I don't want to stop too long because I don't think there's anything bad in there. Anyway, I've got a notebook that I've been using for to-do lists. I've been basically bullet journaling. You know why? Because sometimes I just go blind to my org mode task lists and everything else I'm using on my computer, and I kind of just need to have paper in front of me because otherwise I just like completely lose context. So it's actually been working out pretty well. I've stuck with it for a week, which, okay, a week is not very long. I realize a week is not very long, but for me, it's long enough to say that, it's stuck because sometimes things stick for 2 days. Einar says hipster. Yeah, it is kind of hipster, right? Who remembers the hipster PDA from 2005, 2006? You just have like a stack of index cards that are wrapped together with duct tape that you carry around in your pocket, and you write all your 43 folders style getting things done lists on them. Remember that? Merlin Mann. I'm dredging up all the past for everyone now. Those of you who are in your 20s are like, what the is he talking about? It is what it is. Okay. There's a package within Emacs for to-dos, if I recall. Yeah, I know it is. Something like Grow. There should be a Grow package. Someone should make the Grow package for Emacs. And then all it does is just tell you should use paper to write your to-do lists. Dave says, Christine uses the hipster PDA to this day. Well, Christine is definitely an iconoclast. Doesn't really surprise me that she would be using a hipster PDA. Because sometimes you just need to sit in a park under a tree without a computer and write some thoughts down, which I haven't actually done because I'm sitting in this chair all day. But if I wanted to, I could. You know, I don't need a fancy little handheld device to go do that. Also, the other reason why I'm doing this is because I broke my normal phone that had Emacs on it. So I don't actually have my normal mobile Emacs set up. Wow, we're really off track right now. So next, I want to see if there's any Guix Home services that are new that I should try. I should probably also scan over Guix config to clean it up. There's some stuff I did to it relatively recently that is useful in some ways, but also kind of confusing to people who might come looking at my configuration, and I don't want to be confusing. So I might fix that if we have time, but as we've seen, I've already just kind of spent an hour just blathering, so we might not get there. LeftPad says, Grow, gamified restricted org mode. You can only create headings and change their to-do state, which gives you points. I mean, that could work. I think that people might get into that. But do we really want to put, like, you know, psychology tactics into Emacs? It's already enough of a time sink, okay? Emacs itself is not gamified. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure story, right? You go into Emacs and you realize, wow, I can go this direction or this direction and nobody can tell me what to do. If you start putting gamification of other kinds in, then we're going to have a real big problem on our hands, I think. Trev says, this won't be a good stream unless we break something with Guix. Well, you know, it's highly likely that that will happen. And it's highly likely that I'll break something with Emacs as well. So what can I say? It is. You win by measuring disk uses -cs Emacs Emacs-D. Really? All right. So let's see. First of all, completion styles. Let me see what I did because I don't remember exactly how I set it up. And we did a stream after I set up my completion styles. Completion styles. Type correctly, please. For the love of God. There we go. So we did a stream about completion styles, and I think that the solution I came up with there felt a bit more natural to me than what I've got here. So if you don't remember, completion styles is a variable that has a few options that you could choose from about how the built-in Emacs completions work in terms of how they are offered to you. So if I'm remembering this correctly, when you open up something like Control-X, Control-F, when you start typing letters in, it filters down the list of possibilities, first using the first item in the list, so like a substring match. And I think that substring match could be anywhere in the string. Then, if it doesn't find any entries of what you've typed in using substring, then it moves on to the next possible completion style, which is partial completion, and then Emacs 22 in this case. I had configured it like this, but let me see what the other options are, because I think there's one that's better for this. So let me see. Mark says orderless is the best so far. Yes, orderless is very good. It did things the way I would expect it to. It was very ergonomic to me, but It's an external package, so I'm not using it, at least not for now. I'm hoping that somebody will write an orderless built-in plugin, because why couldn't it happen? I feel like orderless itself should just be able to get dropped right in the Emacs and used, right? Don't you think so? I mean, I don't really know how complicated the code is or what it depends on, but it's a completion style. I can't imagine it's that complicated. So hopefully somebody will do that. Yeah, Oshra says orderless is already on ELPA. Well, being on ELPA is good, but it's not necessarily sufficient enough to satisfy my criteria of not being built in. Because if it's going in my init.el file, which is where all my core stuff goes, which is sort of like the part that you're looking at right now, then it can't go in. If it can't go in init.el, yeah, Leonic says orderless should totally be Emacs built in. It should totally be Emacs built in. That's for sure. All right, so completion styles. Let's take a look at the variable. Its value by default is basic partial completion Emacs 22. I have to do this weird thing because the FIDO mode, which, you know, maybe that's another thing I should look into. Flex does not do that. Doesn't do what? Bro flex? Are we saying bro flex does not do that? Or are we saying bro flex does not do that? Bro flex. So they should totally bring back Bowflex from the 90s and call it Broflex. I don't really know what they would make different about it. Maybe they'll just give it a splashy paint job or something, but it might work, right? People always are willing to buy strange things they see on TV at 2 in the morning after they've had too much medicinal herbal substances and, you know, Doritos and Cheetos and Mountain Dew Code Red, which I don't think it exists anymore, does it? Monster. Sorry. It's just one of those days. I'm in one of those moods. Let's see. The orderless completion can deadlock the default. Oh man, the Tony Little Gazelle freestyler. Those commercials were so silly, dude. The guy with his little ponytail doing his gazelle dance on his basically no friction elliptical machine. Sorry, we're really going off track here. Broflakes. Broflakes. All right. Just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Yeah, I know, right? Woo! We're really digging up the 20 years ago stuff here. 20 plus years ago, all right? Tro says, this is getting crazy even for me. Yes. Okay. So, yes, another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if it's going to work to do this. Maybe don't use FIDO vertical mode. Because I don't really know if I need it. Do I need FIDO? Does it do enough? I don't really know if I want to spend a lot of time poking with that. But, you know, iComplete vertical by itself should be enough, but I think there were some things that are missing. Bro Kendrick Lamar, okay. Yes, Left Pad's going to try to get us singing Chop Suey in here. But with different lyrics. All right. Maybe you like default mini buffer completion also. You mean like default? I've experimented with it a little bit. It's interesting. I'm just not so sure. I think that with some customization of how the buffer pops up for the built-in completions, it's not so bad. But I still like the vertical version better. Mark says FIDO is really slow to open. I don't know if it's slow. Like I haven't really particularly felt that things are slow, but I don't know what all it does well enough to have a fully formed opinion on whether it's necessary. Savannah is always down. Speaking of down, it was 311 day earlier this week. So, you know, we've changed a lot and then some. You know that we've always been down case. Nice to see a case. Yeah, we're really off the rails in the stream. Sorry, people. Well, look, okay. I didn't promise anything in the stream, right? I'm talking about making changes in my own configuration, so nobody can really complain that I didn't offer something of value here. Because this is a very self-serving topic for me, right? So if we want to talk about Limp Bizkit and 311 and System of a Down, oh, that's why Purple G said Savannah is always down, because that's the alternative. Let's see. we're remaking all of the 2000s new metal songs with crafting related lyrics. I got commercials now. Do I have commercials? Did you get an ad on the stream? I did get it. Okay, so maybe don't use Fido vertical mode. Nagatani says, I'm a rebel listening to Limb Bizkit. Limb Bizkit. I don't think I've heard that one before. And using my mouse. I mean, I could write a Limp Bizkit style break stuff song about using a mouse. I don't really want to, though, because it would probably require profanity. And I'm trying to keep this clean as much as possible. But I did kind of say some curse words on the stream on Monday. Leftpad says, if it wasn't for the chat on this show, the configuration would be great, but how? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Oh, no. You're about to trick me into that one. We're not talking about Cotton Eye Joe in here. Okay. Mark says, make a video on occur meta S. Actually, that's a good point you bring that up. One thing that I used pretty often before I did this configuration change is consult line. And if you don't know consult line. So look, you see that I have consult here. I didn't install it in my actual Guix, my Emacs config. It's in my Guix config. It's still there. So the auto loads still work, whatever, sue me. Consult line. If I type in serve, then it gives me a listing of all the places where services or whatever serve shows up in this buffer, and I can navigate between them. That's cool, right? There's something built in called occur, which is a command that is bound to Alt-S-O. And if I type in serve in the same way, it's going to give me basically the same results. Now, it is a bit slower, and it's not as nice ergonomically, but it is, you know, typical Emacs style functionality. And you can speed it up by switching the backend for it to use something like ripgrep instead of the built-in like Emacs grep functionality. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's good enough. You don't really need something like consult line. It's nice to have. It's cool to use, built mixed with like Embark sometimes, but I'm pretty sure that Embark also works with things like occur. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I kind of feel like it might. So you don't really need things like consult lines. So what I'm trying to say here, I've found that there's plenty of replacements for things that you might use community packages for, so you don't really need them. If you like them and you want to use them because they look cool and they feel better, do it. It's great, but I'm trying not to. Occur is bound to meta X occur. I can never remember that one. Control HK Alt SO. It's occur, meta SO. I always forget about the meta S key map. Meta S stands for search. Control H, well actually, meta S Control H. So if you look at it, there's a whole bunch of iSearch stuff in here, right? And highlighting stuff, right? So it's a good prefix. I haven't really used a whole lot in there. I'm mostly just using occur. All right. The occur buffer is also editable like a wgrep buffer, like directly. You could do that, like without any special functionality. Let's see. All right. Services. Question mark, question mark. No. Oh, editing. Wow. It did work. Uh-huh. Interesting. E. Maybe you have to press, okay, E. E is bound to occur edit mode. Then Control C to confirm the changes. Nice. Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Morgan, for pointing that out. I didn't know about that. Get send email. Taking notes. Paper note pauses. Of course. Maybe I'm just responding to my CIA handlers on the other screen. All right. Let's see. You don't know what I'm doing. Well, you don't have to know what I'm doing, okay? It's the other computer. So, back to the completion styles. So the default value, checking the stock of system graph for coins. I would love to do a rug pull. Don't take that as a soundbite because I don't want the SEC after my ass. Okay. My girlfriend Emacs. Yes, I am. So, don't take that out of context because I don't really want to be having anybody knocking on my door asking why I said something like that. So yes, I think that's not gonna happen. Clip it. Yes, let's not clip that. Please don't do that. I don't want to go to jail. All right, so basic partial completion Emacs 22. Now let me see what basic is because I think basic is not too bad. Let me tell you the exact situation I run into that this annoys me. Control X, Control F, projects. So I want to type PROJ, which is cool because it picked my projects folder first. I hit tab, then I want to type sites. I type SI, and I expect to be able to hit tab to go to sites, but then it jumps to music instead because SI is a substring inside of music, right? It's kind of annoying. And I'm not really crazy about it. We could try using basic first. Available styles are listed in completion styles A list. I need to remember. Completion of the prefix before the point and suffix after point foobar where consider all completions and candidates were matching the glob. I mean, basic could be good. There was something else that seemed like it worked pretty well for my purposes too. And flex was too slow also. Substring, yeah, see, here's what substring is doing. And it's why having it be the first option is not good. Substring could be good as a secondary, but it basically is looking for any characters around whatever it is you're typing, which puts me in that exact situation that you just saw, where it picks an option that comes before the one I'm looking for, only because it has those two letters in it. So if I go back to this file, I can put basic first. I don't know, see what happens. And let me eval that expression. And maybe it will work if I do it this way. So PRO, tab, SI. See, that worked. If I push SIC, it will find music because SIC is not a word that starts with SIC. There's no match for that in this completion set. So if I press SIC, it switches to substring instead and then finds music. So that's actually not bad. So SI, HA, DO, where's some other things? TS. Yeah, so that's actually not bad. I would be okay sticking with that because it gets you out of the trouble that you normally have with Emacs completion to start with, which is if you don't type the exact match, then you don't get anything. Ashraz, don't worry, you don't have to be mirroring things. I actually need to check it though, because I haven't looked at the YouTube chat in a while here. Let me go over. Sorry, folks on the YouTube side. Dolce says, yeah, iSearch is painful. Yeah, iSearch is incredibly slow. Custom says, thank you for all the videos. They've been immensely helpful. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Mike says, maybe Summer's pissed because you haven't regaled us with your fishing exploits. Well, there's not any. It's not going to happen. Technomod says, I remember that well. I wonder what Merlin is up to now. I think Merlin is still podcasting. I feel like I've seen him doing something. Like, he's been podcasting nonstop ever since then, which I find kind of crazy because that guy got really popular around 2005, 2006. I'm talking about Merlin Mann specifically. And he's still around doing stuff, but he's not really in like the zeitgeist anymore. It hasn't been for quite a while. Seb says, I find occurs is more complex to move with meta GN or meta GP. I don't really have that problem, I guess. Consult line is just with control C. I use, normal control C, control N, control P, right? Nicola says, Vertigo is better than Fido vertical mode. Yeah, Vertigo is definitely better. Vertigo is an extremely nice and smooth experience, very fast. It is the ideal vertical completion style for sure. I really believe that Vertigo should be built in, but it's not as of yet. Let's see. Alejandro says, what are we screw crafting with today? Nothing yet, because I've been talking the whole time. Case says, hot take completions is actually all you need. Didn't you just say that you don't need a cur, or that you don't want a cur? Case says, what's wrong with iSearch? It's slow. It's fine, okay? It's fine. If someone can tell me some configuration snippets I can use to speed it up, come on, I'm being challenged here. It says use completions, you coward. I don't have a problem with the completions buffer. I just kind of got used to the verticals setup. Okay, all right. I will try to get rid of the vertical thing, all right? I'll do it. Give me a suggested configuration, though, okay? Because I know that there's some variables you can set to make it a little bit better. I would like to see that. If you will give it to me, I will use it. I'm not afraid, Case. You think I'm afraid? You think I'm scared? I'm not going to be scared of using the completions thing. Just use vanilla. I kind of am. Am I not? Dog, I got you. I got you, dog. Okay, send me the stuff. Send me the goods. Man, what a stream. Ashra says, back in my day, we used Space Max and got spoon-fed things. Well, I did too. And then I realized that I probably would enjoy making my own Emacs configuration better. And so I did. Purple G says, your hinges are loose. Which one? For the camera? You like the shakiness of the camera? Yeah. Also, this microphone squeaks quite a lot. What can I say? This is not like a high quality operation here, people. All right. So I fixed that problem. Morgan says, iSearch shouldn't be that slow. It might be having set lazy count to T is slowing it down for a large buffer. Could be, yeah. Jeff says, set completions detail to true and completions format to vertical. And Zorik says, I set a completion auto select to true. Are we really going to do this right now? Is that really what we're about to do? Is just change that? I mean, I'll do it. That's what people want to see. I'll do it. I'll do it, by God. I'll do it. I'm threatening it now. Fido. Vertical. Turn it off. Turn off iComplete mode. There we go. Good old completion. Do it. You won't. I just did it. Don't challenge me, okay? Don't challenge me, okay? I'll do it. I'll do it. Here we go. Set queue. Default, maybe? I don't know if it's needed. Can't type anymore. Completions detailed T. We're going to look at what these variables are in a second. Completions format vertical. And what was the other thing? Completion auto select true. Set opt boo. Okay, set opt, fine, whatever. Is that new? I know it does customization variables. All right, let's look real quick. All right, so completion detail T. Display completion with details. Add as a prefix, suffix. Make some commands. Provide a detailed view with more information prepended or appended to completions. That's probably useful for filtering, I would guess. Completions format. Vertical. Appearance and sorting of completions. Vertical display completions sorted vertically in columns in the completions buffer. This horizontal display completions sorted in columns horizontally in alphabetical order. Okay. Completion auto select. If non-nil, automatically select the window showing the completions buffer when the value is T. Pressing tab will switch. Okay, so instead of staying in the mini buffer, it will jump to the completions buffer list. I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to do. Find tab. Find grep. If I keep typing, does it work though? I don't know if I like that. Okay, it's not bad. Did you do it? Look, I can't pay attention. I can't be ranting and reading every single message all the time, Case. I'm sorry, all right? I see now that you sent it. So let me just type it because it's on another computer. I got to type the whole link out, buddy. www.acdw.net/code/dots/emacs/init.el .html #L224. Thank you. Completions. Tab always indent. There you go. You had your entire URL read out on a stream. Yes, I miss you, buddy. I also miss you banning me from my own channel. Okay, you didn't ban me. You kicked me. But still, you know, I feel like my soul has been tarnished forever from that event. Ignore case. Okay. Actually, that's a fantastic variable for this specific instance. Completions ignore case, because I should be ignoring case in all his suggestions. Sorry, buddy. Okay, completion ignore case. Read buffer completion ignore case. That's a lot of stuff in here, dude. Why don't you put it all in one setup? Why is it so many? It's a star, right? Setup. You can put as many as you want. Why do that? Maybe you like the way it looks. I don't know. Maybe you like the way it looks. I don't. All right, so completion auto help visible. Auto select second tab. Huh, okay. That's actually better. Purple G says, I don't like merging my set queues and set ops. Why? It's so much extra typing, let's say. Easier to work separate ones? Sometimes. Sometimes it is. I will give you that. Sometimes it is. All right. So, should I just copy and paste case config? Am I going to get like copyright striked for stealing his configuration? I got to go delete all of these though. Don't worry, I know how to do that. I'm not a noob. What do you take me for? Some kind of noob? Think I'm some kind of noob? I know how to do that. See that? I know how to do that. I also know how to do this. Okay? Watch this. Watch this. Wait a second. Watch this. I'm gonna fix what you broke. See that? I'm gonna fix it. Look at this. Yes, yes, yes. Well, not all of them. Not all of them. Let me go back. Undo. Okay, no. Yes, 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 yes. That's it. Okay. We fixed what you broke. Now a little bit of indentation. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Isn't that so much better? Ain't that so much better? Yeah, it's cleaner. It's so much cleaner and clearer. Okay, now, thing is, I've dropped this in. I have no idea what all this is gonna do. I'm not doing that, Ashraz. We're not gonna get into a macro lock again like last time, all right? We're not doing that. So, meta-x fi tab. You know, I like the fact that it doesn't show that message. Okay, I like this. This is better. You know why? Because you press F5 tab and you can see the list that is given there. Does meta N and P scroll that? What scrolls it? And then you could keep typing more clarifications like FIL tab, NA tab. Okay. Oh, it actually found that as a sole completion. That's cool. So let's do that with find file, actually. I'll go, ooh, I need to fix that. Projects, okay, fine. SI tab. Hey, that's pretty good. I can live with it. Is it Control N, Control P? No, I don't think so. Left pad. All right, so thinking. Yes, I want to try that again. FI tab, Control N, Control P. It doesn't scroll that buffer. I press it, Control N, Control P. Dog, just figure out your stuff. Yeah, maybe this is cool. I don't know. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. Meta down. I don't want to reach over there to press down. There's no way I'm going to press down. No. Okay, look. Control H. You have LDoc at your hand. Use it. Do I? I love you too, Case. All right. I believe. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Case has key map settings. This is what I was expecting to see. Is this a good idea? Well, I kind of think so, because don't you want to be able to get out of that buffer? Ooh, meta delete. Mini buffer delete directory. I need to bind that to meta H. Yes. All right. Is that right? I didn't copy paste that. I guess I should have. What is this? That's okay. That's my fault, Case. I'm taking the blame for that one. All right. But we're also going to fix this again. I think key map set allows multiples, doesn't it? No, only one. That's fine. Whatever. All right. So mini buffer delete directory. Is that what I think it is? No. The hell? Huh? My cursor is on mini buffer delete directory. Does that not exist? Did you make that function? Where does that come from? Isn't built in? Okay. Well, I'm using something else for that though. Where is it? MH. I complete Fido backward up deer. Let's see how that's implemented. Okay. All right. It's got a little bit of extra logic to it. Yeah, the important bit is next previous. That's for sure. So, whoo. I don't have Control N, Control P, so I can't get to where I'm looking for. I want the org source buffer. Org source, there it is. Number one. Thank you. There we go. Let's get rid of that then. We're gonna do both of those. And now if I do FI tab, Control N, Control P, nice. All right, that's cool. I will admit that is pretty much good enough. I would even allow it to have multiple columns. Delete mini buffer. I don't want to delete the whole contents. I want to delete up to the parent directory, basically. But I guess really what you need to do is just use meta back or meta B. No, is it? What is it? What is backward kill word? Control backspace. Come on, man. Keep completion format to vertical for grid like multi-column. Let me check that out because I do think that multi-column can be better. What was it? Format. One column. Okay. There must be a few of those. I'll just comment that out a little bit and say vertical. It definitely makes things a bit easier, but I don't know if I like the scrolling it does, kind of the horizontal-ish. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Hello to Bart. Alejandro says, I'm loving your impersonation of the Primogen. Dude, don't say I'm impersonating the Primogen, all right? I don't think I'm exactly like that. All right, let's see. Meta backspace. Let's see. Yes, it works. It works. It's just not perfect. All right, so that's good. I think we improved the completions somewhat and maybe broke them further. However, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. I might have to tweak it further, but let's move on to something else for now. LeftPad is trying to stoke some controversy in the chat, saying, listen, I know this might be controversial, but tabs instead of spaces. I don't think so. Okay, you're reading it in the Primogen voice? Yeah. Listen, I know this might be controversial, but tabs instead of spaces. I can't really do Primogen's voice. Hippie expand? I should probably be using something like that, but not yet. Who did it? Me? Yeah, I sort of did it. The meme is complete. Yeah, you made me say something. Okay. Who is this YouTuber? YouTuber. So I think that Case has just elevated the entire profession of being a YouTuber to new heights by coining the term YouTuber. YouTuber? It's like connoisseur. Sewer. LeftPad is a monster. Yeah, LeftPad is a monster. But that's the idea, right? LeftPad is here to wreak havoc on the stream. Anyway, sorry. I apologize for this whole stream. Okay. The next thing I wanted to do was, okay. Before I go as far as trying to... March. Okay, that's the thing. I don't get completions to start with, and it kind of screws with my mental model for how I expect to see things. I have to remember that I want to see the list and hit tab like 3 times. Mark says, you need to take Adderall to sound like him. Yeah, if I did that, I'd be in real trouble. I drink Monster, and that's enough. But I haven't drank Monster before this stream, which is probably a good thing. So let's see. YouTuber is YouTube for what auteur is for films. Yes. Karthik says, do you have any Emacs AI features baked in yet? No. I'm texting. So, yeah. He got that from Dr. Disrespect, I think. So, I was talking about ANSI term and how it's kind of terrible. Is there a way to make ANSI term better? eShell and then well, we don't really need to mess with eShell too much. So, on the front of eShell, I would like it if it had better colorization of the output, but I use eShell some. Yeah, eShell eat 100%. It is kind of the best. There are some slight differences of eShell versus like a normal shell environment. Like subshell syntax is different and piping doesn't work the same way. So if you need that stuff, you'd probably be better off just using a normal terminal emulator. But I don't need that most of the time. But let's say eShell eat fixes one problem that I have with eShell that prevents me from using it more often, which is if I try to run a program that has a built-in REPL, like let's say Guile or Guix or something like that, it doesn't really work so well. So if I can use a REPL from within eShell, I'd be more likely to just reach for eShell every time instead of trying to go for a terminal emulator like ANSI term or EAT itself without the eShell integration. Excuse me. But do I want to go that far? ANSI term is okay. It's a little bit wonky. I feel like I get trapped in there a little bit too frequently. eShell doesn't have that problem because it sort of assumes that you're in Emacs, which of course you are. Einar says shell mode is nice. You know, I never really got the point of shell mode. Yeah, I never really got the point of shell mode, but I think eventually I started to realize what it is. It's basically just a way for you to run console commands, terminal commands, and get their output in an Emacs buffer. It's not a terminal emulator, and it's not really a shell. It kind of emulates a shell in a way. Leftbat says, sounds like a challenge video is around the corner. I used eShell as my only shell for 100 hours. No, if I did that, it would be Emacs shell, because eShell is, you know, is good enough. Shell is kind of weird. Have you ever used shell before? Shell. I mean, it brings you into what looks like a shell, and you can do shell-like things, but you can't run in-curses programs, I don't think. Like if I were to do Guile, there ain't no way that the REPL works in here. Okay, it sort of works. It doesn't seem right though, okay? It doesn't seem right. Case says shell is just silly. It is a little bit silly. Yes, Zorg says we have meta exclamation point, meta ampersand, meta xcompile, etc. Yes, and I do use meta xcompile quite often for running repetitive programs like compilers or, you know, Geek shell invocations, things of that nature. Gary says I use vterm all the time. I don't even have a terminal emulator installed. Yeah, vterm is fine. Oscar says, why do you run Guile in your shell and not in Geyser? Most of the time I do run Geyser now. I've finally acclimated myself to be using Geyser correctly, like a good Lisper. But there are cases like running the Guix REPL where you kind of need to be able to do it inside of a terminal, okay? Because the Guix REPL in Emacs from the Emacs Guix package is the one that's sort of driving the behavior of the package itself. So I don't know if you can really start a new one up. Maybe you can. I don't know. Waxia Tape says, eShell Eat works almost perfectly for me. In-curses looks a bit wonky. Yeah. Well, I don't really use too many of those apps. Like, I don't really need to. But there are some programs that want to, like, take over your terminal experience to provide prompting and stuff. Ashra says, it sounds like you need to tell Geyser to use some kind of tramp into that new environment. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. Could be possible. All right, so should I bother? Should I just go straight to eat? Git works very well in shell. Yeah, I'm sure Git works just fine. Separate terminal better, says Mark. I don't know. I don't want to have another program open. This is my world. This is my world as I see it every day. It's just one Emacs frame, and that's it. Okay, I have another Emacs frame over to the side for like IRC and stuff, but that's it. I don't want another program, right? I mean, okay, sure, there's a browser too on another workspace. That's it. I don't want a terminal emulator program separately. I have one around in case I break things to the extent that I need one, which happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen very often. Oscar says Emacs at Windows to WSL via SSH to SSH to Podman to user shell was a wild session. That is kind of crazy. Emacs web browser. You know, I would love it if I could use EWW more, but it just isn't that practical. Shraz. That's the first time I've heard Ashraz is called Shraz. EWW is great for reading, though. Yes, I imagine it is really, really good for reading because you're sort of right there in Emacs. 80% of your web stuff. What about all the websites that have JavaScript? Because pretty much every website has some kind of stupid JavaScript you have to deal with. And how do GDPR pop-ups work in EWWW? Sorry. I think my brain got a little bit caught on the W's there, but I go back to my question. How does GDPR pop-up dialogues work in EWW? Because that's a thing, right? I don't think they work. But I guess, do you have to worry about that at all? Because you're not getting cookies, you're not getting JavaScript, so you're not getting fingerprinted. Maybe it's fine. Yo, your boy Shraz here. That was a terrible accent. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm apologizing every 5 minutes, and maybe that's a sign I should just calm it down a little bit. All right. GDPR pop-ups don't, since they use JavaScript. I think I realize now that they're completely meaningless in the context of a browser like EWW, because I don't think that cookies exist. So there's really no way to be tracked. I think that any analytics system is going to see that it's Emacs and be like, what the hell is this? And just drop it. Like, they're not going to try to track you at all because they think you're a crazy person, you know? What person is going to come to a website with a browser built into Emacs, except for Big Edie, because he seems to be a big fan of it. I'm not criticizing you, Big Edie. I love you, Big Edie. I just got to make a joke. That's the way it works. Left pad is trying to bait me into saying more hip-hop phrases. Okay, so should I try to put in eat? I feel like after we just did all that work to get the base completion system put into my config, that going and putting eat in is like kind of spitting in the face of the spirit of what we just did. Maybe as a sign of too many Monster. Drink Monsters, SE new stream partner. I wish that Monster would sponsor me. I would just chug Monsters the entire time on the stream if they sponsored me, because I kind of like them. My heart doesn't like them so much, but I like them. Osloy says, I go to websites in EWW. I would. Left pad is really baiting me. We're just getting song reference after song reference here. All right. Anyway, I'm curious for a moment. Control HV, ANSI term. Ooh. Yuck. What completion style is doing that? Because that is completely nonsense for variables. I think I need to customize the completion styles per command, because that's nonsense. That's better. ANSI color. Okay, fine. Term dash. All right, term ANSI at dir, ANSI at message, input ring. See you, Case. Thanks for joining. Let's see, current color, insert mode. Just looking for a second. Bind function keys. Okay. Are there any other bind style variables? Term bind. No. Term key. No. Is there a term mode map? Take a look at that. Key map for line mode and term mode. For custom key bindings purposes, please note that there is also term raw map, which is probably the more correct one. See, Ashraz, thanks for the help, man. That probably means I should stop the stream soon too, if people are leaving. All right, whatever. A bunch of stuff in there. Comment mode, yes. All right, so eat. Emacs, eat. I saw some weird suggestions. I'll put it in so I can use it when I want to. Is it in, okay, non-GNU output, that's fine. Example config. Don't need one. All right. Cool. I think I have a shell section. GW shell. There we go. So I put xterm color in here, which is kind of useful. Use package eat. Do I have eat installed? Emacs eat. Okay, so 094. What's the version that's currently out? Tags 094. Oh, 2 years ago. Wow, it hasn't actually moved in a while. Show. And do I have it in my config? Let's check. David Will, home services, Emacs. What? What did I just do? Yes, there's .sem there. Okay, so Emacs eat. It's in there. Okay, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Let me go back to my emacs.org file. Don't do it, says Trev. Why not, buddy? All right, here we go. Use package eat, config. Is that all we need? I don't need to autoload, do I? I think the autoload for eat should work, right? Eat. Okay. So that's fine. Let's also throw open an E shell. Okay, E shell mode is on. On the keycast mode line mode. Alternate vet told me to use vterm cause eat was unmaintained. I mean, sure. So, what do I want to use? I don't have htop installed here. Okay, Guix shell htop. You want to do that? Okay, so htop works. Doesn't look so good. What if I it didn't refresh? Yeah, it's working. That's fine. And that's eat doing this, okay? So that's built into E shell. So I'm running htop inside of E shell, and it actually does show up correctly. More or less. So I guess that's good enough, right? Being in E shell as the... Zork says, I'm going to break some truth. Many built-in packages are unmaintained. Well, okay. Let's define what unmaintained means. Does unmaintained mean that the features are complete and nothing really needs to be done and no bugs need to be fixed? No, it just means finished. Unmaintained really means there are many bugs and nobody is bothering to fix them. So if that's the case with eat, then there's definitely a problem. But I feel like most people are using eat without too much trouble. When I tried using eat in the past, I think the bugs that I had seen got fixed. So maybe it's fine. Trev says it seems to be the latter. It could be. I mean, if I use it for a bit, I might find that it is like that. The thing I don't like about vterm is that native component that's necessary. Now, maybe the vterm project could do whatever eat is doing to be fast and performant and then still be written in Emacs Lisp. That would be nice. It's not food. They're not going off. You mean they're not going bad? Yeah, they don't. Well, I don't know. There is such a thing as code rot. So it's possible. Okay. Let's see. I'm okay with that for now. I mean, it's an acceptable thing to have in an extension module, you know? I don't need to use it, but I can use it if I need to, if ANSI term is just pissing me off and I want to do something else. So the benefit of that is that I can just use Control XPE to open up a project-specific E shell, and then if I already have the eat stuff built into it, then it makes the experience quite a lot better. So also the prompting is a lot better too. Is the shell prompting, whenever you have a custom prompt, just gets really wonky sometimes. Trev says, I never ran into any of the eat issues or just never noticed them. Yeah, I think there was one that I saw occasionally that bit me, but not often enough to really care. The thing I did have a problem with eat in my last configuration before I did the rewrite is that somehow eat E shell mode was not working correctly. Every time I would load up E shell, it would give me some weird error. I had no idea why that was happening because I wasn't doing anything special. I did have some customization though. Maybe I had more eShell customization back then that was conflicting somehow. So maybe now that I have a very minimal eShell config, which is basically nothing at all, it's better. So, okay, so I probably need to shut the stream down in a few minutes. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I wanted to talk about that's completely pressing or completely depressing. Yeah, there's too many tabs I'm having to press here. I don't like that. I might go back to the vertical mode stuff. We'll see. Geeks Home Services. Maybe we'll take a look at some newer Geeks Home Services at some point in the future on a stream, because I would like to see that. Zorik says you don't need snippets. I don't really use snippets that much. Maybe if I started using them, I would be happy, but I've never really been much of a snippet person. I just type. I type and use abstractions to try to make my life easier. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, though. Alejandro says more like abandoned rather than unmaintained. Some are like that, that's for sure. Okay. All right. So that was fun. We talked about a lot of things and didn't really do a whole bunch of config tweaking, but maybe somebody got something out of the discussion there. I hope you did. If you got something out of the stream, please leave a note in the comments to make me feel better so that I don't feel like it was a total waste of your time. It wasn't a waste of my time. I had fun, but, you know, I have to worry about these things a little bit, you know. I have to care for you all because I want you to keep coming back and enjoying yourself here. So I don't want to completely bore you to death with all the weird 2000s nu metal references that we had today. But maybe we will have more of those. Nobody mentioned Disturbed and tried to make me do the ooh-wah-ah-ah thing at the beginning of the song. But I just did it, so I guess there you go. So next crafting hours, yeah, Zorga asking about the next crafter hours. That will be on Monday at the normal time. If you're in the United States, it will be 1 hour later for you because your time changed, whereas Europe's did not yet. So next week, crafter hour streams will be 1 hour later, but they should be on Monday and Wednesday, barring any other catastrophes that are happening in my personal life. Hopefully there won't be any this week. Really would like to break from that. It'd be great. So check out the crafter hour streams. Those are normally at 7:30 a.m. UTC, I believe. Okay. I usually announce them on Fediverse before then, but we're having a lot of fun writing Guile schemes. So come join us and see how those streams go, because I'm actually doing real work in the streams and not just talking the entire time. All right, thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention. And remember that this is not a cult, so don't go report us to the FBI because it's not a cult. Okay. I don't know. Like, it's not a cult. It's not a cult. What's the right way to do that? Anyway, thank you all. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a nice weekend. Until next time, happy hacking. See ya.